Okay, guys, we are streaming. We are not far off. Ticker's going to let us know when we can go. Stand by, everybody. The Ben, Rob and Rob show is coming your way at the slightly delayed time. Ticker's almost finished. Here we go.
Rob and Robbo. Rob and Robbo.
Streaming across the globe, Ben Norris, Rob McKnight, and David Robinson.
Ben, Rob and Robbo. News, reviews, entertainment too. It's the Ben, Rob and Robbo. Ben, Rob and Robbo Show. Ben, Rob and Robbo Show.
Welcome to the Ben, Rob and Robbo Show. Here's Rob McKnight.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Ben, Rob and Robbo Show. As the voiceover guy said, I am Rob McKnight and I'm joined by the aforementioned Ben and Robbo. Hello, Benjamin. Hello, Robbo. Ben, how are you today?
I am so well. I thought maybe some of the networks were trying to shut us down so we couldn't reveal any TV gossip today. There was a bit of a technical issue, but we're here and we're all looking very beautiful.
I love how we're blaming a technical issue, but it was actually Robbo still doing his hair and we're all here waiting and Aaron had to do the news headlines.
I'm willing to take it for the team. Not the first time I've said that line, but I'm willing to do that here today.
Ain't that the truth? Well, look, we've got a lot coming up today. We are talking to Steve Mogg about the TV industry, and there's a lot happening there. We're going to look at a video that's been uploaded that has a bit of a dig at celebrities and their reaction to COVID-19, and we'll meet the maker of that video too. And we'll be talking to a MasterChef contestant, the eliminated contestant from last night. But first of all, let's get into today's hot topics. And the federal government's COVID Safe app is up and running with over 1 million people already downloading the app. But that's got Tommy Little in a bit of a tiz because he thinks we're not downloading it fast enough. Take a look.
I am the person that if ever someone tells me to do something, I say no. But I'm so sick of talking about this virus. I'm sick of people not being able to leave their homes. And if the one thing you do, if you don't do anything else in your day today, just download this app. It's going to make it so much easier for us to live our normal lives quicker. Yeah. And I'm sick of not playing sport. I'm sick of not watching sport. Just download the freaking app, people.
Robbo, have you downloaded the app?
I certainly have it. You know what I'm sick of, just quickly, is celebrities just, sitting on their soapbox and yelling at us and telling us to do things that they think we should do. Get over yourself, Tommy Little. The thing that I've got a problem with is that Yeah, with this app, I've got a lot of privacy concerns because the government, look, they're not great at keeping that kind of thing a secret. But this is the thing: we actually give over more of our privacy, more of our details, our personal details, to Facebook, Google, every single day. So my mind is changing, and I will be downloading the app this afternoon. This is the big thing, though, that the privacy concerns that everyone has, the government's not going to stuff this up because it will probably cost them the election next time if people's details are not kept secret and not kept private. That's why I think that it's okay. That's why I think it'll do what it's supposed to do. But initially, I did think it was kind of a bit too much of Big Brother looking over me.
I agree, and I'm very big on privacy concerns. I am starting to sway. There was a Twitter feed today where it was pointed out the government haven't released the code, which I do believe they said they would do. But, you know, there's techo guys out there that know how to get into this stuff. And one person went through the code and basically was able to tell that it wasn't doing anything with the code. The privacy concerns we all had seemed to be allayed. Ben, are you starting to change your tune on whether you should download this app or not?
No, I think everyone should be downloading the app. I think I haven't downloaded it as of yet, but I've also been busy doing other things. But today I will be downloading the app. I will be following what the government is asking of me. I have no paranoia, which I think the two of you have a little bit of with my details.
I'm very
being
guilty.
shared. I know you guys are sounding so paranoid. Why are you?
But what I worry about is, sorry, Ben. My worry is though that this will all be, you know, COVID-19. We'll get it. We'll flatten the curve. It'll all be over. But then we'll still have this app, and they'll still have access to this app. So you can delete the app, I'm sure. Yeah, okay, so now I'm sounding like I've got a tinfoil hat on my head. I'm going to stop talking now. Hopefully they do what's right.
No, I have those concerns, Robbo. I have those concerns. I think everyone would go into this with the best of intentions, but do we trust the government enough to stand by what they're saying? We're talking about, you know, we're in a situation now where people's homes, journalists' homes, are being raided by the AFP.
Correct.
I'm not so sure that if a government didn't want information about someone who had leaked a story, would this information be available to them and would they use it? Anyway, once again, that's just my paranoia. And after a shaky start to the year, Prime Minister Scott Morrison's personal approval rating has soured. Has soared, rather, not soured. A news poll by The Australian shows Mr Morrison up 2 points to 56%. It's the highest rating for a Prime Minister, second to only Kevin Rudd's 70% in 2008. Opposition leader Anthony Albanese is at 28%. That's down 1 point. But it's not all good news for the government. While our hearts appear to be fluttering high with the PM, the coalition is on the nose. On the two-party preferred basis, it's a deadlock with Labor, both at 50%, with the coalition down 1 point. The coalition is also down in the primary vote by 1 point, sitting at 41 compared to Labor, which is up 2 points to 36. Ben, the PM is popular at the moment, but his party isn't. Why do you think that is?
Gee, it's really hard to tell. I mean, we're in a really strange time in our lives, and I think that it's a shock to me, to be perfectly honest, that ScoMo has been able to turn things around with his popularity. I mean, I guess in some ways he let us down in such a big way through the bushfires, and then now he is handling things better. It's almost like he's gone from being really bad to really good in comparison. So I guess people are having a little bit more faith in him. But overall, I think that we are so... and you two just explained that, so paranoid about our politicians and so paranoid about them doing the right thing. And I think that you two just need to have a little bit of faith in who's running the country at this time, and be proud of the fact that our numbers are where they are. And I think you need to take your foot off the brake with, you know, your support on these politicians.
No, I've got to say, Prime Minister Scott Morrison has my support. I think he's done an excellent job, and it's been a huge turnaround for him from the beginning of the year, at the end of last year when he was in Hawaii, and that became a real turning point. This crisis has actually showed him in a leadership role, and I think the way he's handled the crisis has changed during the longer it's gone on. I think he's been very prime ministerial. I think he's fully taken control, and I actually have admired what he's done. In fact, tomorrow I want to talk to Sam Dastiari, our politics guru, about how you can effectively be an opposition at a time like this when the Prime Minister does have the people on his side, because we all want to get through this. So, I will definitely say I'm on ScoMo's bandwagon at the moment for sure. Meanwhile, it's no secret the advertising market has taken a downturn, which started even before the current pandemic. But it seems some publishers are now using sneaky tactics in order to get us to click on their sponsor messages. This morning, while looking at the Daily Telegraph website, I saw this story which caught my eye. It was a special feature on unlimited data plans. We're currently looking at internet plans to help with the show. But when I clicked on the article, I discovered the whole thing was nothing but an ad for Optus. Have to be honest, I felt tricked. Now, once I was in the article, it did say to you, brought to you by Optus, but by then I was already in. Ben, this looks like an article, it smells like an article, but I got duped. Do you think publishers should be more upfront about what is a story and what is an advertisement?
Yeah, absolutely, but they're never going to do that because they are so happy with their click-through rates. I mean, you can't imagine the amount of times that I've been teased with a story like, guess what Britney Spears did yesterday? And I'm like, oh, I want to know what Britney Spears did yesterday. And then it takes me to a thing which is like, do you want to get a massage from a massage parlor, which as far as I'm concerned is really questionable?
Robbo, I feel very guilty because I feel like I've spent my entire life trying to get people to watch stories that they or advertisements that they don't want to watch. You know, I've been a promo producer for news and current affairs at Studio 10. I certainly integrated advertorials into a way. I feel like I'm part of the problem. I just don't like it when the shoe's on the other foot.
No, and you know, look, that's fine. We're in a commercial environment. Let's never forget that. So I think that sometimes we put our commercial entities on a higher pedestal than they should be. They're there to make money. So this is my tact now, and it has been for quite some time. If I want to get the actual news, the real news, I go to the ABC. It's as simple as that. They are absolutely the most trusted news source in Australia, hands down. There's no one that comes close to them.
Actually, there is someone that comes close to them. I was going to say, Robbo,
Right.
sorry to interrupt. I think a reliable news source is the Ben, Rob and Robbo show. I think
I
it's a great
agree.
place to
And our
find
good
your
friends at
information.
Ticker TV, Robbo.
No, they're fantastic as well. But we're talking about online stuff here. We're talking about, you know, the news websites. We're not talking about Ticker TV, which is a wonderful institution, and I'm just so happy to be in bed with them. But we're talking about online, and so when I want to actually get the news, the facts, I go to the ABC TV or Ticker TV. But if I want a bit of entertainment, you know where I go to news.com.au because it's all rubbish. It's all.
I don't know about that.
Yes. Rob, it's the Murdoch press. Like it's
No,
all clickbait.
You can't just say that. All news services
Yes, I
are
can.
out there. Well, you can say
It's
that.
a clickbait.
But there is some clickbait. But even the ABC does clickbait headlines. The point here is that I actually think the Murdoch, the Nine newspapers, the Guardian, Daily Mail, I actually think they all do good stories. You know, I don't have a problem with that. I was just thrown by the fact that I'm quite good at not seeing advertising and ignoring it. I got caught in here. That's my only point. But, Robbo, there's a bigger issue going on here at the moment. Have you painted your nails?
Yes.
You're breaking up. You're breaking
Show
up
us.
there.
What
Yeah.
the hell is going on?
Okay, so look, we're in lockdown, and my sister said, I really want to practice like painting nails and so on. I'm like, I don't care. So I made sure that I chose the color, which is midnight blue, and I also made sure she put a bit of sparkle on it to match my personality, I guess. But yes, I've
Robbo
got
today, Roberta tomorrow.
By the way, his sister's 18. It's not like this is some 7-year-old or something like that.
Yeah, but look, we're in lockdown, okay? And I like to express myself. I like a bit of glitter.
All right, well,
Yeah.
let's move on. Well, there's no denying that coronavirus doesn't discriminate, no matter your age, race, sexuality, nationality, or gender. If it gets you, it gets you. But one Aussie comedian believes that we're forgetting to thank some of the unsung heroes. Greta Lee Jackson has published a heartfelt but tongue-in-cheek thank you to all the stars that glitter on our screens. Have a look.
Hi, I'm Greta Lee Jackson, and I'm not a celebrity. But these people are. And during this time of crisis, they have provided the strength that we've all needed to get through. So it's time for us normal people to say thank you.
I see a number of deaths every day, and the constant threat of being infected and taking that home to my family is terrifying. But the one thing that gives me strength to get to my job every day is watching Ellen broadcast from her mansion.
This is like being in jail, is what it is.
I've been waiting on hold to Centrelink for days now. I've lost my job, I've got no money, I've lost everything. But this video of Amanda Keller dancing around in her massive kitchen is really getting me through.
I have been working for 48 hours straight and my face hurts from wearing a mask for so long. I was going to go lick a patient to end it all, but Manu from MasterChef reminded me why I'm here.
I just had to break up a fight in aisle 3, and every day people call me a f***ing c***. But having Sam Armitage reassure me from her sprawling rural property really makes it all worthwhile.
We're all in this together.
My landlord refused to, give me a decrease in rent, so I'm out on the street. But this bloke on the beach, man, he makes me feel better. I don't know who he is, but if I knew him, my life would be beautiful.
My mum died, but look, it's Al from Home and Away.
We really are all in this together.
Thanks, celebrities.
Thank you, celebrities.
Thanks, celebrities.
Thanks, celebrities.
Get back to work, you f***ing
Thanks, celebrities.
From the bottom of our pathetic little nobody, unfamous, worthless, dogshit, broke-ass hearts. Thank you. You are the truth.
Greta Lee Jackson joins us now on the Ben, Rob and Robbo show. Hello, Greta. Welcome to the show. Greta, what was the inspiration behind the video?
Well, I watched free-to-air in a long time, and I was sort of astonished at how many celebrities there were, and with inspiration showing us that we're all in this together. It doesn't really feel like that for me, so I guess that some executive has thought it's a really great idea to put these promos together to give the normies, a ray of sun in their bleak little lives. So I figured if I'm starting to get fed up with it, then other people are too. So I called my old friends and colleagues from Tonightly with Tom Ballard, which is a show on the ABC that we used to work on, and we put it all together.
There's a name drop. That was a fabulous show. I've got to say, I'm a bit in two minds, if I'm to be completely honest. I love the message you're trying to get out, and I love the use of human, real people, because there are some terrible stories. I mean, one of the ones that actually stands out to me is the young girl at the checkout at the supermarket getting abused. We hear these stories, but I've also got to say, I didn't think it was that bad that celebrities do these kind messages. They're trying to connect. Is it really a bad thing, or is that just a tool to get your message across?
Not bad. I don't hate on anyone. Like it's just a bit of a laugh,
Yeah.
Just a bit of. In fact, Erin Mullen messaged me and she said, I told them this in the meeting and they didn't listen. I told them no one would. Most people have a sense of humour about it, and it's just a bit of fun, just a joke.
It is. Robbo is a big fan of yours and a big fan of what you're doing here. Robbo, what would you like to ask Greta?
Greta, I think it's wonderful. I think it's exactly right. These poor people in their mansions, lecturing us about what we should do. And it's just so easy not to go to work. And it's just so easy to be in lockdown. They forget that we don't have the hundreds of thousands of dollars that they have, and they can be locked up in their houses and mansions. I applaud you for this. I think it's bloody fantastic. Will there be a sequel, Greta?
Actually, that's an interesting question. I had a friend in the UK tell me that he wants to do one, and I'm like, mate, go for it, because people have been sort of saying, we need a UK version, we need a US version, and he's put together something, so there should be a UK one coming out pretty soon from him.
It is such a brilliant idea. We're so glad that you came on the show to talk to us about it, because it really is, especially when you've got shots of Sam Armitage in her bloody Akubra on her sprawling property, as was said in the video, just saying we can all get through this. Yeah, all right.
Too harsh,
if you want to give some money, if you want to give us some money, that's fine. We'll all get through it together if we can share some of that wealth. I'm getting a bit serious here, Greta. Sorry. Is that the kind of message, or is that the kind of feeling that you want people to feel? Is this kind of stuff them kind of attitude?
I guess I don't want to how to feel any particular way. It's just if it rests with you, great. You know, we get to share a bit of about something. But yeah, I guess I'm not really about so I'm not really thinking about other when I make stuff like this. I guess I want to be a celeb.
Yeah, we all do.
Now that is the honest answer, and Greta, maybe after today we can all do the celebrity version of the promo, but probably not.
No.
Yeah, I think I'm banned from network television for life now.
we all are. It's okay.
We all are.
We'll make our own
exactly
network.
right.
Greta, I look, despite what I said, and I said I was in two minds, I actually do like the clip, but maybe I'm too close to it because I do like the people who are in the clip as well. So anyway, good luck, and I would love to see a follow-up. I think you're very talented, and Australian television needs people like you. So good luck with everything, and thanks for being on the Ben, Rob and Robbo show.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers. See you later.
Bye.
Well, the world has certainly seen its fair share of atrocities, but this is one of the greatest crimes against humanity. We're talking about whether you double dip with a knife between the butter and the Vegemite. Our good friend Bruno Boucher has put the question to the world in a recent Facebook post, and the answers were mixed. Robbo, do you double dip?
100%. Even if it's in the office margarine or Vegemite, absolutely. Because if I put too much on there, of course I'm going to put it back in. It's a natural instinct. It's what it means to be human. And if you don't do it, you've got to go into the room of mirrors and have a bloody good hard look at yourself because you're wasting food. Put it back in there for the next breakfast, and you'll be all right. You know what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen if you double dip? Absolutely bloody nothing. So double dip, save the margarine, save the Vegemite.
Have a think about this, Robbo. But have a think about this. Butter goes in the fridge. Vegemite goes in the cupboard. So what do you think is happening to the butter that's in the Vegemite jar in the cupboard? It's going off. It's actually a health hazard.
Scientifically, the yeast proteins in Vegemite actually kill any kind of bacteria that happens to be left in the butter that is no longer in the refrigerator.
Thank you, Dr. Robbo. I think you're talking absolute crap. But I tell you what, that must be why I'll live to 150 because I eat so much Vegemite. Ben, to me, this is on the same level as coffee drinkers who, in an office situation, they'll have their coffee, pour it in, and then use the same spoon to get the sugar, and they'll leave coffee in the sugar. Oh, I can't stand that.
I have to say, that is so disgusting. And I'm a little bit OCD with some things. So, like, I can't stand, and I will never make coffee if those two things have been put together. And with the butter versus Vegemite scenario, I also find that to be really disgusting. I also have an issue, personally, which I can add to this. When it comes to drinking anything, if I put the drink down, I think it's contaminated, and if I lose my eyesight of it, and I'll never ever drink that again. So like I lived with my best friend for 4 or 5 years, and she thought I was the little girl from Signs who leaves the little glasses of water everywhere all over the house because I would never finish them. So like I think we've all got our weird hang-ups. I think we all feel really differently about it, but I can't believe you even bothered asking Robbo as to whether or not he is one of those mucky people that puts the double dipping. I can tell you that just looking at him.
He's right, Robbo.
Delusions. No, if you're suffering from delusions and paranoia, you have a number for you to call at the end of the show. You'll be fine, I promise. I've lived to be 28. 28.
Barely.
I've lived to be 28.
Okay.
And I've been double dipping my whole life. It's fine. Go and do it. Save the lives, save the world, save the food. Rob?
All right. Well, all I'll say is that, Ben, I think sometimes I always say be honest, but I think you've shared a bit too much about the glass thing, to be honest.
I'm worried.
I'm at least wearing pants today.
Hey, look, it's time to talk TV, and there is no one better to do it with than TV Black Box's very own Steve Mulk. Good morning, Mulk.
Afternoon, even, Rob.
Oh, hello. Oh, we're having another one of those days. Mulk, there's a lot happening in the world of television at the moment. Over the weekend, Channel 7 dropped the big new Big Brother promo. Let's take a look at that.
Sure.
I have been watching you, Australia. You see, I never went away. And now, I am ready to play. Welcome to my brand new house.
I gotta be me. I've gotta be me.
In every room, between every wall, and around every corner, I will be there, watching and listening.
I wanna live,
There is nowhere to run.
not merely survive.
There is nowhere to hide.
And I won't give up this dream of a life that keeps me alive.
I have searched for a new breed of housemate
I gotta be me.
to play my game. But nothing will prepare them for what I've got planned.
What else can I be but
My house, my rules, my game. Who wins? You decide.
I gotta be me.
Big Brother, what are you playing at?
I am Big Brother.
Oh, Mulk, what do you think?
It's very neon, isn't it? I'm looking forward to Big Brother, there's no question. That promo does nothing to engage me, and I've got to say, underwhelmed by what seems to be the stalkiest, most robotic Big Brother we've seen yet.
Mulk, can I talk to you about that Big Brother voice? That Big Brother
Sure.
voice, what is he? It's kind of this weird kind of, just out of drama school, kind of half British, half... I don't know what. I miss the old Big Brother voice. You know, that really deep but still kind of natural voice. What do you think about this new Big Brother?
Look, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, because, of course, the whole season is pre-filmed. The only thing that we, the audience, will get to determine is the winner out of the final two contestants that have already been whittled down. So we'll get that finale live, I'd guess. But the show itself is kind of set into autopilot now. So I'm hoping that it's going to be good, but doesn't matter. It's too late now.
I've got to say,
That's
I
right.
really liked the promo. The voice has grown on me. I wasn't sure at first, but it's grown on me. Ben, you are a former winner of Big Brother. People have wanted to know your thoughts all weekend since this launched. What do you think?
Well, thanks for silencing me over the weekend on
I
social
did.
media and telling me I wasn't allowed to tell anyone. Look, I think that the ad looks so exciting. I may be the person who's a little bit different to everyone else's opinion. I think it comes together really well. I love Sonia Kruger in it. The voice, I'm not mad on, and it's going to take some time. But isn't this ad just like the epitome of the journey we've had so far with Channel 7? And that is that we get some information and some time to process it. We start off thinking, oh, I'm not sure, but then we sort of come around. And I think that this show is actually going to be really successful, even though I'm so disappointed that, Leon Murray, who did the voice of Big Brother for the Channel 9 series, is not back. I'm disappointed that Mike Goldman's not back. I'm disappointed that Sonia Kruger and Gretel Colleen didn't hook up in a dual hosting scenario. But
That would have been something.
Well, it certainly would have been empowering for women who want to get together with other women over 50. Anyway, moving along quite quickly from that ridiculous joke. But
Go on, Ben.
I will say this to you, and that is, people need to realize that this is a reboot of Big Brother. It's not like what Channel 9 did when they rebooted the Channel 10 one. This is a very different format. It's a shorter show. They filmed it over 5 weeks, and I don't necessarily think the show's going to go much longer than that. The turnover of these housemates will be fast. The challenges and the way these people get evicted is going to be very fast. And I think that we need something exciting and we need something new. And it was never going to come back the way that it was before, because it was a tired formula that wasn't working anymore. So if you ask me for my opinion about this new Big Brother, I say to everyone out there that's following this story, wait for the launch, wait to see what happens. And finally, good luck to the producers of the show keeping those housemates secret until that launch night.
Indeed. Mark, Channel 7 needs Big Brother to work, don't they?
They sure do, Rob. It's been a pretty diabolical 2020 for them already, with My Kitchen Rules falling on its butt. Pooch Perfect not doing great numbers. House Rules slightly better than My Kitchen Rules, but everything after sort of 7 o'clock is being thumped by the competition, particularly 9 and 10 at the moment, with MasterChef going so well. Just a quick reminder, everybody talks about Gretel and Sonia. Everyone forgets that Kyle and Jackie O hosted Big Brother as well.
Yeah.
No, they don't. As much as I love them. But anyway, Gogglebox and Mulk is what I'm trying to get to. I'm a bit excited about this one. Mulk, there's going to be a Gogglebox spin-off.
Yes, it'll be called Mogglebox. And it'll just be me watching TV, which is what I do all the time. No, Celebrity Gogglebox is coming to us later this year. Dropped as an exclusive on the TV Black Box website just over the weekend. We know that it will be celebrities. The Gogglebox format that we love so much. We don't have a lot of information around who those celebrities are going to be. There is rumours that the aforementioned Jackie O could be one of the celebrities sitting on her couch at home. But who knows where that's going to land. Certainly it would be a great pickup for 10 to have that play out, and certainly a very easy production for them to put together in these challenging times when it comes to how the coronavirus is affecting TV production.
And Foxtel have
Mark,
dropped...
I was going to ask you just really quickly about that. In relation to Celebrity Gogglebox overseas, which has proven to be a success, do you think that there will be much change to the format, or do you think it'll be basically exactly the same thing with somewhat so-called celebrities from Australia?
Look, I'd expect it'll be pretty much carbon copy. The critical thing to the success of it will be whether those celebrities actually share their opinions or kind of hold back because they don't want to upset their mates that they're seeing on TV. Certainly, if you remember last year, The Weekly with Charlie Pickering did a rip-off of Gogglebox with a whole bunch of comedians watching TV, and that was pretty funny. I hope that those segments are coming back when it returns on Wednesday night.
Mark, talk to me about this new deal thing Foxtel's got. It's a new streaming service or something?
Yeah, no, Foxtel have been running this secret project, their drama streaming service, like KO for sport, but this is their streaming service for drama only. In the last week, we've learnt that it's going to be called Binge, which makes sense. And in an interview with Patrick Delaney, the CEO of Foxtel, he let on that it's probably about 6 to 8 weeks away. And certainly the conversation in the Australians, the Australian this morning, was that it definitely will not come out before News Corp's end of financial year results that are due to come about the end of May, but it is coming. So this would be, I think, hopefully a great success for them, and if not, probably a last gasp as they try to get everything back on the rails, because with sport not going, there's not a lot happening for Foxtel.
Very interesting, Mulk. Well, thank you once again for your insightful TV information. We will see you next week. And, of course, we'll see you on TV Black Box, the podcast, which will come out tomorrow morning.
Yes, absolutely. And don't forget TV Binge Box as well.
Of course. Okay, thank you, Mulk. Well, moving straight on to another guest. It was a big night on MasterChef last night when Ben was eliminated. And the one and only Ben joins us now on the line. Hello, Ben. Can you hear me? Hang on. Are you there, Ben?
Can you hear me?
Oh, we've got you now. Ben, it was a huge night on MasterChef last night. But the thing that stood out to me was that moment when you were eliminated. It was a very emotional moment. Let's take a look at what happened.
Venues had flavour, but the balance was completely out of whack. In fact, it was so acidic that none of us could have finished that dish. And that's why I'm sorry. You're going home.
Betty, unfortunately, it's tough to say, but wasn't your day today.
No.
But you've always been a guy in the kitchen that everyone gets along with. You hold your head up high. You brought us some cracking dishes. So I think everyone in this room is going to miss you.
Thanks for that. Yeah, I came back for two reasons, really.
I wanted to see, is there any way I could give back to this icon that has given me so much? And also to see you do what you're doing now and to be so proud of you.
I'm giving you the biggest hug because I don't think I can do it anymore.
Well done, buddy.
Oh, Ben, what was that like? That was... I got a bit caught up with that.
Yeah, it was definitely an emotional time. I think for all the contestants going back onto the show, it just reminds you of how far we've all come, and specifically Andy, who's now judging, who's travelled that really interesting path from being a contestant to now being a judge. You get a little bit emotional because you do see how far we've all come as chefs and what the show has done for us.
The relationship between you two was quite interesting because you did start out together. He obviously went on to become this judge, and it's a hard moment for you. It's a hard moment for him when that elimination is happening. I did wonder, from the very first episode, I did wonder how that was going to go and how it would play out, but you just seemed so full of love for him. It was really, really nice.
Yeah, he's a fantastic guy. He's one of those people who makes you feel like you can achieve anything. He's one of those great friends that you have that's always supportive and always looks after you and always tries to make sure that you come out of something better than when you went into it. So for me to put him in a position where he had to say those words and eliminate me, I felt really bad for him because I can only imagine what it would have felt like if it was the reverse. So I tried to soften the blow a little bit by walking him through that, and I am unbelievably proud of him. One of the things in the past is that the judges don't really put under that sort of pressure. So for Andy's been there before, he's done it before, and he understands what it's like to be put under that pressure.
Indeed. Ben watched the episode last night, and I know he's got a few questions for you. Ben, what did you want to ask the other Ben?
Well, do you know what I thought was really powerful? I know that you probably were very disappointed to have been in, maybe just the start of the series and not to have continued your journey. But I thought showing that you are a male with real emotions and being in touch with that emotion and being able to display that on television was really powerful last night. You must be really proud of that. I wanted to know, who's your inspiration? Like, is there someone out there that taught you how to be in touch with your emotions?
Two people in my life who have been really important in mindfulness and making sure you're present and my dad, John. They're like you said, they're males. They're very they're testosterone driven. They're footy boys, but they also have recently with my father. He's found that connection with his emotions, and it's made him a better dad and a better person. So being able to try and mirror that, because as I'm a dad now, I understand how important it is for me to see my father be real and true to himself. So I try and mimic that for my kids.
Well, that was absolutely the take home, or the takeaway, I guess, from watching that episode. And it was the first big moment, as far as I'm concerned, watching this series. Are you surprised that the fact that this series is up 50% on last year? Like, what do you think the success is of this series being so popular?
I think it's one of those perfect storms. Coronavirus came along and people were really looking for some sort of normality or something that they can fall back on that they know. And MasterChef's on every night. It's a great way for people to connect with something from the past with the contestants that they know. And it was almost like Australia got a big hug from this show that they've relied on year in and year out. It just came along at the perfect time. And the idea of new judges, so a breath of fresh air, but also the fact that they brought back contestants from the past seasons gave it that likability and connectedness that people were probably looking for.
Well, just before you go, I just want to quickly say, I cooked salmon last week, and my salmon was nowhere near as good as yours, and I couldn't have imagined what would have happened to me had I been judged over the salmon I cooked. But if it's okay to ask you for your tip on who do you think's going to win, do you have anyone that you think is going to take it?
I think Callum will take out the win. I think that he's someone who works really well under pressure, and that's what MasterChef is all about. It's dealing with that pressure and being able to come out the other end of it. And he also, he's a really good teacher of food technique. And I think if you're someone who can teach something well, it means you understand it really well. And I think that's going to, and also the fact that he's not trapped in one certain style of food, whether it's dessert or Southeast Asian. He can, he's a jack of all trades, which it doesn't matter what challenge he gets, he's going to be able to come up with something good.
Well, I'm going to tell you, this series is amazing, and I am glued to my screen. I'm going to watch it right to the very end. I want to say thank you so much for your time on the show. I think it was powerful, and I think that your dad should be extremely proud of you.
Thanks, Ben.
We seem like we've lost Rob, so I could basically fill in the audio and
It's
make
the
it
random
sound
life
like...
shot of the day. Where are you going today? You never know where you'll end up with the random life shot of the day.
Well, we certainly have Rob there. We're going to Churchill in Canada. The weather forecast is rain and snow, -6 degrees. That's the low. The high will be 9 degrees Celsius. So make sure that you're very thankful for being where you are around Australia at the moment, because it could be very, very cold there. A wonderful shot also of what appears to be an antenna of some sorts.
I will explain, Robbo.
Icicles on that.
Robbo, if we go back to the shot, I will explain, and I'm sorry my mic was off, where the audio's, the one little tester was still getting off. See how there's green behind that antenna?
Yeah.
This is the Northern Lights. Unfortunately, it's a cloudy day as they hit that low of -6. But right there is the shot of the Northern Lights. And what we'll do is, I think it'll be pretty amazing. Apparently, right about now is the time to see them. So we will come back when... we'll come back to the Northern Lights when it's a clearer night. How about that?
Lovely.
Sounds
Beautiful.
like a plan.
Wonderful.
All right. Now it's time to find out what's happening in the world of entertainment with Ben.
Well, today's show host Karl Stefanovic has come out talking about his mental health issues that he was suffering last year as he was, well, not last year, the year before that, as he had lost his job as the host on the Today Show and his marriage had crumbled. You know, I think it's a really powerful time for Karl to come out and talk about these issues, especially with what's happened and what is happening with COVID-19. A powerful message from Karl is that, you know, he is concerned for the people at home, he's concerned for families, but he's also concerned for people who are by themselves and for the elderly who don't actually have people to talk to. So I think Karl, you know, while he's still gearing up on the Today Show and making it into what he wants it to be, he's certainly using his platform powerfully. And I think for people out there that are suffering through COVID-19, along with Karl's wishes, I think people can get onto Beyond Blue if they feel like they need any support. So good on
Absolutely.
Karl.
You know, it's interesting. When I got sacked from Studio 10, a lot of people said to me that I was suffering PTSD. And it's interesting that he's saying this, he's suffering the same thing. You do go through a loss of identity when you lose such an important job in your life. And even though there was some commentary that Karl had lost interest in the show, still losing something like that is a very, very big deal. So it doesn't surprise me at all that he had that. And people might write off PTSD and all that kind of stuff, but you certainly have some effects when there's a major thing in your life happening like that.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. I think a large part of life is when we are told that we're not supposed to feel a certain way. And for Karl Stefanovic, I think he was probably thinking to himself, oh, I should be grateful for the opportunity he had on the Today Show. I'm probably not supposed to have all these feelings. But for people out there that may suspect that they are suffering from PTSD, which is a very serious thing, you know, there's no harm in going to your GP and getting a mental health plan because they might unearth some other things. So I'm supporting more mental health plans out there, and a big thumbs up to Karl Stefanovic. But moving on, Will and Grace finished up on Friday last week on Stan, and it was the series finale. It was a reboot of the show when we managed to get 3 new seasons out of it, but that may not have been the case last Friday, as it turned out Deborah Lee Finesse, too many Deborahs on the brain, too many Deborahs. Deborah Messing had it in her contract that they had to finish the show last year. So they actually sped up the process to make sure that the whole series had been finished. And interestingly enough, had she not had that in her contract, they would have picked up filming this year once the virus had come out. So we're actually very lucky we got to see Will and Grace tied up as it did. I think, with mixed reviews from fans about whether or not the series was as good as the first one, it's always hard to top what you did the first time. I still think what an amazing opportunity to be able to see a show being rebooted. Making news as well is Pete Evans. This story is hilarious. Now, I kind of feel bad for him in a way, but he was out on social media on his website talking about a machine that he had created, and this particular machine he had set on his website would be able to cure coronavirus. So he has got himself into a bit of trouble with that. He has been slapped with a fine of $25,000, which is an exuberant amount of money. But at the end of the day, I don't think you can be jumping out there and claiming that a whiz-bang woover-doover-looby that you've got in the back of your house is going to fix your coronavirus. I think that's just
There
awful.
is something I have to say about this. I did see a statement from Evans where he said, I never made that claim. We will be fighting this, and so he will be taking it to court. So we probably need to tread a little bit carefully on whether he did or didn't say it. I'm trying to go back to the videotape and see exactly what he said. The story certainly has been that he was pushing this thing in relation to COVID-19 and being able to deal with it. I think in the same video he actually or may have actually said he's got some recipes for dealing with COVID-19 as well. So
100%, Rob. He did say that exactly. He said that there were recipes in there for COVID-19. There's no doubt about that. That's in the video.
Okay, very interesting, Robbo. Thank you very much. Ben, what else have you got?
Well, also, I'd like to just say that TikTok seems to be taking over the world, and I am starting to become obsessed. I mean, it started off with Facebook, and it moved on to Instagram and Snapchat, but now these TikTok videos are taking out and becoming huge. That's actual real footage of my stomach, by the way, after I drank too much red wine at the end of the first week of the Ben, Rob and Robbo show. Had a very similar reaction, and I've learned a valuable lesson. However, these videos are reaching huge numbers. The next video which I have, which is my actual TikTok of the day, has received over 8 million likes on this, let alone how many views. We actually can't see exactly what those views are now, but they're exciting. People are making money out of them, and I think they're great for people who are in self-isolation. Check out my selection for today, which is the TikTok of the day.
Dude, head somewhere else.
Okay, that'll work.
No, get your own spot.
Don't you guys? Dang it.
They're brilliant! Oh my gosh. To start
They are
off with,
brilliant.
before I had downloaded TikTok, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting so sick of social media. I'm so sick of these influencers, blah, blah, blah. But I think that they're amazing. Robbo, I know you have a real problem when it comes to influencers and some of these people making a name for themselves on these new apps. What are your thoughts on those TikTok videos?
TikTok has kept me up until 4 a.m. in the morning sometimes. It has been absolutely crazy. I love TikTok. And the great thing is there are many Australian comedians and Australian content producers who are on TikTok who are having amazing success. And we're actually going to have a live and exclusive chat with one of those wonderful Australian comedians that is presenting on TikTok. His name is Blake, and he will be joining us in the next week here on the Ben, Rob and Robbo show. He's getting an amazing amount of likes, and he really, truly is funny. And what I love about him is that he's got this Australian kind of really Australian taste to his comedy. So I can't wait to chat with him when he comes on the show.
Fantastic
Can
stuff.
I just quickly ask you, Robbo, before I lose you, can you give us a little tease? What are some of the videos that you're liking on TikTok at the moment? Is there anything in particular that's caught your eye?
Well, they're all Blake. Blake does a great Mr. G from Summer Heights High. He also does a great Girls at Parties. He does a great Boyfriend Coming to Meet the Parents, where he plays all of the characters. So he's got the girlfriend, the boyfriend, the husband, and the father and the mother. He's fantastic. I just like it when they're real. I can't stand TikToks when they're not real. So you can see if they're going to scare someone. and there's a camera there, but the person who's being scared doesn't notice the camera right in their face. So I hate fake TikTok, but TikTok in its purest form, wonderful.
Okay, I think I'm TikTok out. And my daughter loves TikTok. But you know what I would like to do? I'd like to have one final debate with you guys, and that's why it's time for the conundrum. Robbo?
Well, that's right, Rob. We've got a pretty touchy subject here today. It's religion. Now, it's given solace and purpose to billions around the world, but we've also got to be honest here. It's responsible for some of the most worst violence and persecution in human history. So we're asking today whether it should be illegal to indoctrinate kids with religion. Well, a neuroscientist in the US believes so, and he says that an appropriate analogy for this is porn, that you wouldn't expose a child to porn, so why would you expose a child to religion? This is a really big, massive issue here, but it's right. Most of the violence in the world, if you look back at history, has been because of religion. So is it possible to actually stop this massive tidal wave that has been going around the planet since we started? Guys, what do you think? Rob?
You know, religion has had a lot of evils. We've seen abuse and things like that. But comparing it to porn, as far as people wanting to guide their kids to a right way to live their lives, I think is just ridiculous. I'm not religious. I have very little belief system in afterlife. But I do not think it is inappropriate for parents to have a belief system. Every culture does. Every culture believes in something, and I just don't think the comparison to porn is even fair to those who are religious.
Yeah, no, okay. The comparison to porn isn't, but it was an analogy that neuroscientist was using, and that is that it's just something that you wouldn't expose your kids to. I think we need to move away from that particular argument. And the biggest thing is especially if your kid, for example, turns out to be gay, but you have indoctrinated them throughout their entire lives up until they start to think that they're coming out, and that's getting much earlier, obviously, which is great. But you've told them the whole time that you're going to get married to a girl or you're going to get married to a boy, and it's really bad if you don't, and homosexuals are bad, and all of that kind of thing. That's, I think, that the point here is if you're educating or indoctrinating children like that, that can be a bad thing, especially for them, also their friends. This is the thing. Bigotry is not, you're not born with bigotry. You're not born with that kind of hatred against people. You are taught that. And the foundations of most of that hate is from religion. And that's a big problem.
Yeah, look, but there are a lot of people that follow religion that don't have that bigotry. And if we look at the changing nature of the church is becoming more inclusive. And I guess the problem I have is this idea, put religion to the side of it for a moment. Every parent passes on their beliefs, their bigotries to their kids in some way. Even if they're not saying, you need to hate black people, the actions that parent takes passes down to their kids, or the kids see it and then can make a judgment call. So my point is, whether it's religion, whether it's bigotry, whether it's the good or bad, there's things we're passing down to our kids all the time. And I don't think the idea of a religion that supposedly teaches love, and let's be honest, religion is only a problem when it's those older white men who are trying to canvass against same-sex marriage and everything else and aren't actually speaking for the church that are the problem.
They've been in power, though. Middle-aged white men, if we're going to use them as an example, have been in power since the dawn of time, and it hasn't changed. You're talking. I totally accept your point there, Rob. I really do, and that is that those bigotries, those opinions, those thoughts are going to be passed on to the kids anyway. But they are formed within a lot of basis with religion. That's what it is. So we've got to draw a line in the sand at some point, saying, well, okay, we've got to stop this indoctrination. We've got to give them the choice. If they get to 15 or 16 or 12, whatever, and they want to, go after religion, no matter what it is, no matter whatever persuasion that is, that's fine. And then they can make their own decisions at that point. But we're only going to break this cycle of hatred, of bigotry, of persecution if we start doing something like this. Look, I don't know how you could possibly do it. It's there is no way, and I know that religion is very important to a lot of people, and I don't take that away from them. But I just think, how do we break the cycle? And I think that's a bigger question, which we will cover in another conundrum. Rob?
We will indeed. I just want to give.
I
We
didn't
do
get to
have
say
to go, but
anything.
I want to give Ben the final word on this because he hasn't had a chance to say anything on this, Robbo.
Sorry, Ben.
Well, very, very briefly, I'd just like to say that I think the topic's very broad. I think it's very difficult for us to be able to cover something as quickly as we had, which was only just a couple of minutes. I think religion is important. I think it is not necessarily the beast that people are making it into. I think that this guy in particular, which is the actual topic, was looking for a headline, and porn and religion probably are not two words that I would put into the same
All
sentence. You know what I'm saying?
All right, our friends at Ticker TV are standing by to bring you the latest news headlines. Ben and Robbo, thank you for another great episode. I think week 2 is getting off to a cracking start, and we're debating right until the end. We will see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock, all things being equal and all technical machines working. So we will see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Until then.
It's the Ben, Rob and Robbo, Ben, Rob and Robbo Show. Ben, Rob and Robbo Show.